Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Just over 5 minutes left to go in the ball game, and we're going to go ahead and start our post-game show now, starting at the 10 o'clock hour of Central Time, all throughout the great state of Wisconsin, beyond the borders as well. Television side of things in all of our streaming platforms. Welcome in. The Green Bay Packers did everything right. They dominated the first half of this ball game. And then in the second half, they did everything they could to give this thing away. An incredibly soft performance. And Matt LaFleur has a lot of explaining to do. A third quarter that they basically wasted. A defensive performance that, I'm not going to fault the defense. They played their asses off. Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary gave you good games today. On the outside, Edgerrin Cooper was everywhere, going down in the third quarter of this game, going to the blue tent, and ultimately to the locker room. Quay Walker played his ass off. I mean, he did. This defense did everything they could, and you, on one hand, you think to yourself, "Man, this is a defensive performance that you got to be, to a certain extent, proud of because they gave everything they had." But also, Caleb Williams is not a good quarterback when it comes to being able to look guys downfield in the pocket. When he thinks about it, he's not great. His completion percentage is low, and I was watching some of the writers here in Chicago talk about that, where he has misses. He just does. But when you look at what the offense did for the Green Bay Packers, it was an absolutely putrid performance. And why Jordan Love is afraid to run and why he is so unbelievably opposite when he is under pressure, it is just almost to a point embarrassing. He is an unbelievable quarterback when he has time in the pocket to look around, and he can lay the ball almost any place he wants it to go. Under pressure, he is not the same quarterback. He is not the same quarterback. And I said, I was texting with Mike Clemens, and I said, look, if the Packers lose this game after that unbelievably soft performance, not having any fight coming out of the second half, coming out of that locker room, I would be the first one to call for Matt LaFleur's job. I would be the first one to say, look, you cannot bring this guy back. You cannot continually have soft performances when you have the heel of your boot on their throat. You knew they were going to do something. You knew they were going to go into because if you're the Bears, you got nothing to lose. You're playing with house money. You got to let it all hang out. But damn it, when you just come out soft and you're in shotgun and you're handing off and there's no creativity and nothing to what we saw in the first half of this game, I'm like, at what point does somebody shake Matt LaFleur and go, dude, you're not playing against the clock. You're playing against the Chicago Bears. You've got to do something to create more separation. Your lead is not safe right now. And we've seen that throughout the second half. Now, you thank God that Caleb Williams was off. You thank God that Ben Johnson was stupid. You thank God that they had their own creative mistakes. But, and then I don't even want to get into the special teams aspect of this. The special teams are just horrible. Just horrible. Cannot, for the life of me, figure out why Rich Bisaccia has a job. And ultimately, look, if the Packers go on to win, yes, they got to score. So they're 27-16. If the Packers go on to win this game, tremendous. They're not going to beat Seattle. Not playing like this. They can't play 4 full quarters of football. And that is something that Matt LaFleur has to answer for. And that is something that I'm going to harp on this week. Big time. Because why can this team not, when it comes to play calling and in intensity and whatever it is you want to call it, why can they not play 4 full quarters of football? Why? Explain it to me. I don't want to hear about rivalry. I don't want to hear about, well, this is the Bears, because the Bears didn't do anything different. All they did was brought pressure. They brought pressure, and you had zero answers for it. You stood in the shotgun, you handed off left, you handed off right, a couple incomplete passes, boom, 3 and out. You went, at one point on 3 drives, you had a total of 11 plays. Pathetic offensive performance by Matt LaFleur and this offense in the second half of this game. Just pathetic. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about the end of this thing as time continues to wind down. Just over 4 minutes to go in the game. Packers still up 27-16. Bears trying to have some kind of a spirited comeback. And, if they do punch it into the end zone, then you got to see a drive out of Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, and it's got to be another, legacy type of drive to be able to kind of put this team away. And the Bears have just scored. The Bears now 27-22 is this ball game. 27-22 is where this thing is at right now.
and they're going to go for 2 because then they can get it within a field goal. And remember what happened the last time. They go down, they kick the field goal. They can end up punching this thing in overtime, and then God knows Romeo Dobbs, the lack of shorthandedness from the last time they were here in Chicago could ultimately end up costing them. But right now, a 20, and they get the point after they get the 2-point conversion. 27-24 is the score right now. 27-24, and the Bears are now within a field goal with 4:18 remaining in this contest. Phone lines are open. If you want to chime in, you can. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. The missed extra point is big. I get it. The field goal before half, that was a tough one because the wind was swirling, and I get it as well. But this game, if this thing gets away from them, I'm not going to blame it on McManus and an extra point. I'm going to blame it on Matt LaFleur and that pathetic third quarter and the drives they had in the second half and how soft this team came out. I can't. I just simply cannot defend it. I can't defend it. And I said that if Matt LaFleur loses this game, he will be absolutely flambéed and crucified before he gets back to Green Bay. And this coming week, the screams will be so loud for his job, it won't even be funny. And Ed Policy will have to listen to those screams to say, do we really want to bring this guy back? Do we want to bring another inept, soft team that plays like it coming out of the locker room at halftime under Matt LaFleur? Clearly, whatever he's doing is not right. And here's the other thing. What is Jordan Love afraid of? Why will he not get outside of the pocket? You see, and again, Caleb Williams has a different set of ability, a different set of athletic skills, but this guy's trying to will his team to anything. He's diving, he's running, he's all over the place. And he's not nearly as talented as Jordan Love, but this guy's got a heart. I don't know if Jordan Love's got that. We talked about that this week. Tremendous quarterback with a lot of gifts and a lot of skills, but under pressure, he's nowhere near the quarterback. Nowhere near the quarterback that other quarterbacks are in this National Football League. So, anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I know the game isn't over yet. Packers still have a long way to go. Like I said, 4:18 remaining in this one, so we'll see where things end up. But if you want to join us, you can. We are broadcasting live, which, by the way, it's not a big crowd here. Not a big crowd at all. There's still a lot of people that are down at the game. They just here inside the hotel where we're at the Sheridan Grand River. I'm in Chicago here at the Sheridan Grand Riverwalk. And they have got the Shula's fine dining restaurant and bar and everything here inside the Sheridan, which you can take a look at if you're watching us. And again, it's not real crowded or anything like that. But some Bears fans, a few Packers fans milling around. But the hotel just had a really big veterinarian convention, and they all left for the most part earlier today. So the hotel not anywhere near capacity as you would think it might be. But the Packers right now trying to hang on to this one, and or the Packers trying to hang on to this one, I should say. If the Packers do, I don't see them advancing past Seattle, just for the fact that unless they catch Seattle with rust, I don't see them getting past Seattle. Because right now the Packers are playing soft and they're playing with their heels on the back of their heels, and the Bears are playing tenacious. Like they just have everything in the world to go for. And the Packers are playing almost to a certain point scared. And I don't use that term very often in the sense of trying to demean somebody. But what do you call it? What do you call it? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us 608 321 1670, 608-321-1670. You can also watch us, and please do, over on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show, youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can track us down on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels. What an incredible catch by Romeo Dobbs, by the way. Downfield. That was a big-time play. Nice throw, big-time play. They didn't get pressure on Jordan Love at all, left him alone in the pocket, and he threw a perfect ball over top the defender, right into his outstretched arms of Romeo Dobbs. Big-time play for the Packers on that one. So also, if you want to find us, you can email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. So plenty of things to get to. Today. You know what? Keyshawn Nixon and the stupid penalty, irritating. I completely get it. And as a matter of fact, between you, me, and the fence post, when Keyshawn Nixon had the jumping on the pile penalty, in the press box, Gutekunst, loud groan, fist pounding on the desk. Not happy with it at all. Not happy with it at all. So, I mean, that things like that get noticed. Valentine is Valentine. Didn't do a whole lot in this game. I'm not going to blame the secondary for a lot of different things, and here's the reason why: is because they should have never been on the field that much in the second half of this ball game. They've done everything they possibly. If you would have said to me at the beginning of this game, or even as we went into this game, I said the score would be 27-24, 27-21, something like that. If it ends like this, then I prove to be Nostradamus. However, the way this game played out, it should have been a more dramatic victory. But the offense was so inept in the second half of this game, so incredibly inept. And it wasn't until the last couple of drives they really got something going, so incredibly inept that they put the defense in a really, really bad position, a really bad position. So I'm not going to go defensively speaking. Yeah, the soft zones and such, we don't like it. We understand it. And I'm not a fan. They don't have the personnel to be able to get after the quarterback and play a punch you in the mouth at the line of scrimmage, man-to-man defense consistently. They just don't. We've seen it. They get burned when it happens, right? But I'm telling you, man, the offense is to blame. If they lose this game, it's all on the offense. I won't go after the defense hardly at all. I just won't do it. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. By the way, we got people that are texting. We got some emails already that have come in, and we're going to get to all of this. And we're going to continue to take your calls, your reaction, and such as this game continues to wind down. Just over 3 minutes to go in the ball game. And this one out of the 920. If we lose this game, LaFleur says credit to them for making the plays, and he should be fired and not even brought on the home on the bus. I don't want to hear anything about credit to them. I mean, you give the other team credit. I understand it. He will. But Matt has to be held accountable for the unbelievable failure of this offense in the second half of this game after just beating up a Bears defense that is not that good. In the first half of this game, the Bears basically said, look, we're going to play zone and we're going to come after you. We're going to send blitzes every which way. And Jordan Love, we all know, look, we've said it all season long. If you heat him up, he's not the same guy. He's not the same guy. And I get it, putting him in shotgun to be able to give him a little bit extra look at what's coming and where the blitzes are coming from, and I get it. I'm not a fan. And you saw numerous times tonight where play action was basically abandoned. It was completely abandoned. So I don't understand why, but it was. Just they don't do it. They had that really action fake, goes out to Christian Watson, who the leap into the end zone. Granted, he fumbled the ball and it was at the half-yard line. But I don't understand it at all. Don't understand it at all. Why they just kind of abandoned that particular aspect of the game. I've been screaming for it for a long time. By the way, the pass to Luke Musgrave, that I can't believe they didn't call pass interference when you have the defender not turn around and extend his arms to shove Luke Musgrave to the ground. Can't believe that they didn't call pass interference on that. 877-867. That's where we stand. That's where we stand. By the way, let's see here. We got Mark who writes in that I can't believe Matt LaFleur just completely took his foot off the gas. All of his all gas, no brake BS is tiresome. This guy is soft. That's all he is, and his team reflects it. We need a new head coach. This was from Sam, who says, regardless of the outcome, Matt LaFleur has failed miserably. His second half, quote, non-adjustments are pathetic. This guy's been outcoached in the second half of this game, and now they get a delay of game penalty. Unreal. 3rd and 10. 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll see where things are at. The Packers with just over 3 minutes to go in this ball game, up 27-24. They are in field goal range now. So at least they have that going for them, by the way. They're deep inside Bears territory at the Chicago 21. So we got all that coming up. Stay tuned. Whole lot more of the Green and Gold Postgame Show. We are broadcasting live down here in Chicago at the Shula's inside the Sheridan Riverwalk. Stay tuned. We got more after this.
This is the Green and Gold Postgame Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
You got to hit it, bang it, rock it, put it in the pocket.
Well,
Hit it, bang it,
while
rock
we were
it,
away,
put it in the pocket.
the Packers in field goal range. Brandon McManus misses the field goal, and now the Bears have the ball back. 2:07 remaining in the contest. Actually, 2:08 remaining in the contest. And the Packers have called a timeout to try to preserve some clock just in case the Bears do score, so the Packers can at least get the ball back with some time. But Brandon McManus misses wide right, a 44-yard field goal, and the Green Bay Packers now hold a lead of 27-24, and now we're down to the 2-minute warning after DeAndre Swift goes off to the right side for 6 yards, so brought down by Kingsley Ngabari. So they are at the Chicago has the ball at their own 46 with the 2-minute warning now sounded. So that's where we are at. And Brandon McManus, with a couple of misses in this contest, 3 misses in this contest, to be perfectly honest with you, who up until this point had seemingly looked like he was going to be correct and be clutch. And it just has not turned out that way for this team. I don't even know where to begin. Let's just do this. Let's just take some phone calls. Let's go to our buddy Terrell on the north side. Terrell, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Had better night so far,
Hey,
man.
Bill, I'm sorry, man. I'm on the edge of the seat for this last little 2 minutes, Bill, but I'm telling you, man, if the Packers don't pull this out, man, LaFleur needs to go, man. He does.
Yep.
This movie looks so much similar to a lot of the playoff times the Packers have been in. And, you know, the playoffs aren't for every coach. Some guys just, you know, they don't know how to go into another gear. And and get it through, get it home for their team. The way he called those plays coming out in the second half looked like somebody who was like, well, we got to leave, we'll be okay. Like, there's no kill switch on him at all. And I've always been saying this is not something just this year. It's been like that for years with him in the playoffs. His teams get up a little bit, and it's like, okay, we need to go to the next level to get that to stomp on their throats. And I just never see that from him. And I swear this is going to hurt so bad if they don't pull this out, because that Ben Johnson sitting there going for fourth down, back to back, no respect at all.
Right.
And at the same time, I understand why he was doing it, because he didn't think his defense could stop the Packers. So he's like, well, we better just keep on going for on fourth down. But now the Packers have gift wrapped it again to him, and I'm like, oh my God, this is. I don't know, Bill. I'm very frustrated with Matt LaFleur in the second half. Like
we
it's
should
like a Jekyll and Hyde type of thing.
Yep. No, we should be. So I completely agree with you. It's what we've seen this story before, where he gets up and then they come out and they're soft and they allow a team to climb back into it, and they either make a game of it or they get a come from behind loss. And you can't keep pissing away games. And that's exactly what he did. His play calling was pathetic. You got a quarterback who doesn't want to seem to get outside of the pocket and really do much of anything. I don't know if they tell him not to or he's afraid. I don't know. But I can't fathom for the life of me how you can look that good when you don't have pressure in your face. And the minute you get pressure, suddenly you're a statue who can't throw the football and can't be accurate. I don't get it. And the play calling was pathetic.
Yeah. Totally agree with you, Bill. It's going to hurt right here. We got to pull it out.
This is not only going to hurt, it is going to be angering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be completely angry. Yeah. So, and then, oh, by the way, you got special teams like death and taxes that are going to screw you every time you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, we just missed out on 4 points with special teams right there that fast. So,
well, two big returns. One led to points, and then obviously you've got points that were missed via special teams. So, it's just the special teams again can cost them another game.
Yeah, I'll be surprised. Like I said. Unless the defense can pull out and stop, and we hold on life, I think that policy is going to get rid of LaFleur. I do.
I know they said that prior to this game that they were working on an extension. I would, if I'm at policy, I am seriously considering holding off on that right now. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, they're going to blame everything on injuries if they do. But we'll see. I'm not impressed at all.
Here's the thing, Terrell. You can't blame it on injuries in this game because your offense was pretty much, for the most part, intact, and your offense is what failed.
Yeah.
Your offense put everything else in a bad situation. Your offense is what failed. So you can't blame injuries on this one.
Yeah, Bill, I don't know. I just don't see how he gets.
You know?
What? Touchdown. They just scored.
Just.
There's a minute and 43 left. But,
yep. Unbelievable. Terrell, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the phone call.
All right, thanks, Bill.
He's as stunned and as frustrated as everybody else is. Unbelievable. We 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. Again, 877-867-1670. The Bears, in case you haven't noticed, have now gone up 30-27. With the extra point, it'll be 31-27. They'll be up by a touchdown, and this is going to be one of those legacy drives. If Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur can put something together that is actually going to be that last-second drive where they can go down and get a game. The Packers have allowed the Bears to come climbing back from a 21-3 deficit at half to take a 30-27 lead with 1:43 left to go in the contest. An absolutely pathetic performance by the Green Bay Packers, offensively speaking, in the second half of this ballgame. Defensively, you have a lot to, we understand that. Injuries you can talk about. Not on the offensive side of the football. Can't do it. Can't do it on the offensive side of the football. Absolute hot garbage. This one's from, who's this one from? This one's from Rob. Rob says, another pathetic performance by Matt LaFleur and his candy-ass team, a team that doesn't know how to actually win ball games. They just play well. And then he's got ... well enough to make us believers that Matt LaFleur is something special. He is nothing special, never has been, never will be. From his stupid decisions going all the way back to the Tampa Bay NFC Championship game, to the dumb decisions against San Francisco, to this pathetic performance here tonight, Matt LaFleur absolutely positively has to go. The Packers do not any longer have my support. That is from Rob. Rob, appreciate the email. This is from Terrence. Terrence says, Ed Policy's got a big decision to make. Either run Matt LaFleur out of town or run the fans out of town. Period. End of story. What else do we have here? This is from Vince. Vince says, just another Green Bay Packers collapse. Everybody knows that Matt LaFleur is not the guy. I don't know why he gets so much credit. Because he has won big games. Look, I'll defend certain things about Matt LaFleur. This game, you can't defend it anymore because you can talk about it. I know there's all kinds of people that want Matt LaFleur gone, and I can defend certain things with Matt LaFleur because you can't be over dramatic and say never. But in a game like this that you had won and all you had to do was play your game in the second half, and instead it was completely dictated by the Chicago Bears with no creativity, no capability, no fire, no nothing, and your team falls flat. It looks like they quit in the second half. At least your defense was out there playing their asses off, basically on one leg, and you can't keep them. In my opinion, you can't keep them. I don't know what else to say, which is going to make a lot of people that can't stand Matt LaFleur happy. But in this particular contest, you can't keep them. You got to get rid of them. You can't keep them. So we'll see what the Packers can do. If indeed they're able to kind of turn this thing around and create a miracle and suddenly punch this thing into the end zone and send the Bears home disappointed. But this is an unbelievably poor performance. And even if the Packers win, this raises major levels of concern for his capability to actually put the heel of the boot on the throat of the opponent and to grind on them. We haven't seen that in a long time. Haven't seen it in a long time. They don't have blowout wins. They don't have that capability because I just don't believe their head coach has that capability. What else do we have here? This is who's this one? Jacob. Jacob says, "Hey guys, not a bad game, not a great game. They've got a lot of injuries. We'll give Matt LaFleur a little bit of slack, but I agree with you, Bill, that the offense doesn't have injuries. This was just a really poor performance and poor play calling on Matt LaFleur's behalf. What do you do now if you're Ed Policy with all this talk about the possibility of extending him?" Look, Ed Policy can change his mind and say we were thinking about extending him. We were going to work on an extension, but this changed things, and if it's going to be an extension, then you make it a very, very short one. If you're not going to bring in any kind of another name that might be on the market that you really believe can lead this team, then maybe you make it a small extension, and then that way, if you need to get rid of him next year, you can get rid of him next year without really paying him a lot of money. Maybe that's what you do. Don't know what else to tell you. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. And the Packers on this particular series, they got to move the ball. It's 4th and 7. So now we'll see what actually happens. But not a good look for the Packers. So, like I said, if they lose this game, it's, man, good night. Good night. 2 missed field goals, the extra point, big returns, all that kind of stuff. At least they picked up the first down, stopped the clock, so they still got some life left in them. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of people not happy with Matt LaFleur, not happy with the Green Bay Packers tonight and this performance at Soldier Field. There's a lot of things we still have to go over. There's a lot of things logistically we can talk about, a lot of scheming and such. But obviously, this is a game in which you just had a fire at halftime and you came out completely flat after halftime. And that's where this team is. Completely flat, completely lifeless. And, I mean, even when you look at them now where they're at, it doesn't – answer me this. You saw – Caleb Williams screaming and yelling at guys to get them up, being able – offensive linemen, guys pounding on pads, screaming and yelling, the whole thing, in a very much enthusiastic way. You don't see that on this time, at this particular point in time, not for the Green Bay Packers. Robert says, what's your excuse now? I don't have an excuse, Robert. You obviously haven't been listening to the program. This is a pathetic performance by Matt LaFleur and his team. The second half of this game, no fire, no creativity, no nothing. Nothing. A pathetic performance. And I can't defend Matt LaFleur in this realm. I can't. So for those that think I will, I won't. But a pathetic display in the second half of this ballgame. All right, let's do this. We're up against it. Stay right where you're at. We're going to take a break. This thing's probably going to end. There's 55 seconds left to go in the ballgame. Stay tuned. We got more of the Green Gold Postgame Show live down here in Chicago at the Sheridan Grand Riverwalk inside Shula's, which is a great place. Look, if I've got any positive to take away from all of this stuff, It's the fact that this is a tremendous place, great people, great place, and we just always enjoy coming down here. So we're looking forward to working with our friends down here for years and years and years to come, which is a great place to be. At least we're in a great situation here. More of the Green and Gold postgame show. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more to discuss coming back right after this.
This is the Green and Gold postgame show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Phil Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. It is gone final. The Green Bay Packers have indeed lost in the wild card round.
Welcome back to the program. All throughout the great state of Wisconsin, well beyond the borders as well. Our TV affiliates, our network affiliates, and all of our platforms. Thanks so much. Phone calls wide open, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can also touch base with us if you want to. Text message. The text line is open, 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. The Packers up 21-3 at half, only to see them put up only 6 points in the second half and ultimately fall 31-27 to the Chicago Bears, a game in which the Packers held in basic dominant control for an entire half of this ball game, only to watch Matt LaFleur's crew completely, for lack of a better term, piss it away. And that's exactly what they did. So welcome in, everybody. 877-867-1670. Before anybody else has a chance to say it, if I'm Ed Policy, I say, Matt LaFleur, thanks, but no thanks. It's time for you to go. Your team came out in the second half with no fire. Your play calling was uninspired. It wasn't even creative. Your defense played their asses off, but they're just banged up as can be, and your offense did nothing to help them. It was a pathetic performance out of a coach that doesn't have a killer instinct. It is time for you to go. Matt LaFleur, I'm calling my shot here. It's time for Matt LaFleur to go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's go to Kevin listening to us in West Bend. Kevin, welcome to the program, the Green and Gold Postgame Show.
Billy, how are you?
I've had better.
Hey, Billy, how are you?
I'm good, man. What you thinking?
Well, you need both, and I'm not even gonna rain on the parade and say I've been calling this for a while, but it's just so frustrating. Like, and you said it. There's no killer instinct with this team, And Jordan Love was the epitome of that. On a 3rd and 2, could have easily run for a first down to give the Packers momentum, and he throws the ball into the stands, not even close. Can you imagine Brett Favre doing that?
I can't imagine Caleb
or even
Williams
Aaron Rodgers. Exactly. It's like, I just don't see any killer instincts with this team. Nope. And I literally knew when we were up by the half, I knew we were going to come out and go 3-0. I just knew it because I sat in my living room in West Bend and called every freaking play for the first 2 drives.
Uh-huh.
I'm not that smart.
It was like all of a sudden he was trying to take time off the clock. I'm like, the clock is not your enemy. It's the Chicago Bears. You need to keep it rolling. You were killing them in the first half. And it's just
you're not Indiana playing. You're not Indiana playing freaking little poor team of the South in college football, bro. Put your foot on their throat and kill them.
Yep.
But this has been my problem with him for years now, and I've been poo-pooed and blah blah and I'm not celebrating the fact that I think I'm right. I hope that Ed Policy finally sees what we've all seen and just says we gotta find a different path.
He's taking.
I don't want to wait 18 years like. I don't want to wait 18 years like the Ravens did.
Right.
I just don't. I just don't.
No,
all right, Billy.
I get it, man. Appreciate it, bud. Talk to you soon. Let's go to Tyler listening to us in Greenfield. Tyler, welcome to the program, man. How you doing tonight?
Well, I will say this, because I'm not even going to ask how you're doing because I'm pretty sure everyone's mood is the same, but I have not even worn Packers gear the last few weeks because I hate to say it, we knew how this was going to go down. We knew how it was going to go down. I heard the last caller, and it pretty much echoes what I was going to say, and that is that Matt LaFleur is a coach who coaches to not lose.
Yep.
And there's a difference between coaching or playing to win and playing to not lose.
Right.
And we have seen this time and time again. Matt LaFleur, when he gets the lead in the second half, he coaches to not lose.
Right.
And it has gone on far long enough. And I know I've said it to you on Twitter as well, but if that policy does not fire Matt LaFleur, there's going to be a legion of Packer fans that are going to be there to say, we'll do it for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of fans tonight that just said, okay, I'm done. He's a good coach. He's not a great coach, and I think he's taken this team as far as he possibly can.
He's a coach that if you're down in the dumps and you need to turn that team back to a winner and at least knock down the door of the playoffs, yeah, go with Matt LaFleur. But, no, I agree. He does not have that killer instinct. And, yes, injuries were all that, but good coaches coach through the injuries.
Right.
And we saw that in 2010.
Yeah.
We saw that in 2010. Mike McCarthy was able to coach that team through the injuries. Matt LaFleur cannot do it. He has to.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I'm sorry. No, I was going to say Matt LaFleur for too long has coasted on talent and players carrying him, it feels like. And that's fine for a good coach, but it's not going to get you to a Super Bowl. And Matt LaFleur is not going to get us to a Super Bowl at all. And it is time for changes.
Yep. No, I agree. Appreciate the phone call as always, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
No, I appreciate it. Tonight, I see Matt LaFleur as a coach who is a smart coach. I don't even know if I'd bring him back as an offensive coordinator, because if you're going to call plays to be conservative when you're playing a team who lives on cardiac comebacks, who lives on it. This is their 7th come-from-behind win in the 4th quarter this season. You know what they do, and you take your foot off the gas. This whole thing about him, all gas, no brakes, it's just good. Looks good on a T-shirt. It was great for the Packers to sell them in the pro shop, and it looks good on a T-shirt. It's not a mantra. And here's the thing that I'm probably most concerned with. You got Tucker Kraft coming back. You have got Micah Parsons coming back. You've got players, Devontae Wyatt, that's going to be coming back. You're going to figure it out with these guys, okay? I don't want to waste their best years thinking this guy, let's see if this guy can get you over the top. I don't want to waste their best years. It's time for a change. It's time for a change. Time for a change. Let's do this. Let's go to our buddy Gerard. Gerard, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Well, I tell you, Bill, I'm very happy because I figure if they won, it would be great. And if they lost, this Mr. Softy would be gone. We're going to see what kind of stones Ed Policy has. Does he have the stones of his father that got rid of Bill Walsh and Seifert?
Yeah.
Or won Super Bowls?
Yep.
Okay? Or are we going to see another nonsensical, dumb move by the Packer organization that's going to bring this dimwit back, this weakling with no... I've been saying this for how long? Why is it surprising, then? This is what bothers me. Why is this surprising? He won one big playoff game against Dallas, and that was his best game he's ever put together in his career. He had Rodgers for all those years. This is not surprising to anybody that pays attention. This guy is not a head coach. He's never been head coach material. He's never had stones. He's never dictated. He always reacted. And this proved it again.
Yeah.
Every year we go through the same thing with this guy. Every year. But yet there's 100 excuses made from, let's bring him back. Let's give him a 3-year contract.
Not anymore.
Why?
Not anymore.
Why?
Yeah.
Bill, how long? Let's be honest,
It's
Bill.
been years,
How long
but-
have I been telling you about this guy?
Oh, at least a few years, at least. But I look, there's been other times where I can look at it and I can say, okay, I understand it. This to me was the capper because everything you did fell into place. And your team came out flat and you can't blame it on the defense. You can't blame it on Halfley. You can't blame it. You can talk about Bisaccia and everything, but this was based on a lackluster offense and piss poor play calling and just the mentality of that offense that matriculated through this entire team because we watched them fail miserably in the second half. So they put pressure on the defense, pressure on the special teams.
You know what gets me, Bill? all these people that were saying, oh, well, he doesn't have any problems with the locker room. Well, I wouldn't have any problems with him because he doesn't push me to another level. He doesn't get on me when I do. Oh, yes, but he yells in the locker room. You can't take him seriously.
Not
This
anymore.
goes back to him crying at the podium, crying in front of at halftime. This goes back to so many things with this guy that everybody brushed under the rug. Everybody brushed under the rug and ignored it. I don't want to. How many times did I tell you, Bill? Do I want a coach that's crying to a woman at halftime? Do I want him crying at the podium?
No,
Debo even said it 100 times.
Yep. No, not anymore.
I mean, you can't have this. He's soft.
I wonder what Monday is going to bring with this.
Well, if they bring him back.
Go ahead.
If they bring him back, it might be the last package game I watch because I'm that bothered by. Listen, I'll tell you how bothered. I canceled the NBA package the second week I had it this year because I don't tolerate garbage.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I am not going to tolerate them bringing this guy back.
Right.
So you say it the best: wash, rinse, and repeat.
Yep.
Bill, it's the same thing with him all the time. He's a soft guy, and he's a coordinator. He should be sitting upstairs somewhere with the Tennessee Titans, not with the Green Bay Packers.
I don't even know.
This is not the kind of coach
Gerard,
you want for the Green Bay
appreciate
Packers.
it, man. I agree. I appreciate it. I don't even know if I would want him as my offensive coordinator if that's the play call that he's going to go into in the second half of a ball game, to play that conservative. You weren't playing the clock. You were playing the Chicago Bears, and you took your foot off the gas in the third quarter. Really, you stagnated your team in the third quarter, and it trickled down into the fourth quarter, and then they started playing scared. And you could look, there was two teams. One was saying, let's go get them, and the other one was saying, we don't know what, and that was the difference in the ball game. You had a team, and again, I feel bad for the defense because the defense did everything they could. They threw the kitchen sink at them. And it was because the offense goes 3 and out, 5 plays and out, and that was all the extent of it. What an awful performance by Matt LaFleur, his play calling, and the second half of this team. Piss poor. We'll get into some of the stats coming up here in just a few, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. I'm going to get to everybody. We got Mike, we got Randy, I got all kinds of people on hold. We're going to reset the phone calls. We got text messages to get to, emails to get to. The Green Bay Packers are up 21-3 at half, only to turn around and lose this contest 31-27 in Chicago. They had the Bears right where they want them, and Matt LaFleur alone let them off the hook. He let him off the hook. And Ben Johnson did beat you twice this year. A pathetic performance in the second half by the Green Bay Packers and by Jordan Love. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Green and Gold postgame show. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Green and Gold postgame show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
The Green Bay Packers up 21-3 at half. Snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory, and they take a loss 31-27. 28 points put up in the second half of this contest by the Chicago Bears. The Packers only to muster 6, and the Packers, offensively speaking, were absolutely positively putrid. Matt LaFleur took his foot off the gas. He is solely to blame for this loss. This is the last time. I'm not going to defend him anymore. I, like many of you, just want him out. It's time to change. It's time to change. Go with it. You don't want to waste Micah Parsons' better years. You don't want to waste Devonta Wyatt's better years. You don't want to waste Tucker Kraft's better years. You got to have somebody that can come in and actually figure out Jordan Love and his ability to be so great when there isn't pressure in his face and so bad when there is, and the inability almost to run the football and be able to throw a team on his back and go out and get it. I don't understand it. I don't know if he's being coached that way, so I can't positively say. But I'll tell you this, it was an unbelievably heartbreaking performance, and I think Matt LaFleur's time in Green Bay has come to an end. I believe it should. Whether or not Ed Policy does, we'll have to wait and see. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Broadcasting live here in Chicago. The Sheridan Grand River Walk, and Shula's is where we're at. Shula's, inside Shula's, terrific place, great steakhouse. And it's always so much memorabilia inside this place. So if you get a chance to come to Chicago, by all means, come on by and check this place out. It's just a really, really cool place down here. And a pretty good crowd that was in here before to watch the game. And since then, it's really thinned out. This place closes here in about 20, 30 minutes. But nevertheless, we're at Shula's Steakhouse here inside the Sheridan Grand River Walk. Okay, let's go back to the phone calls. Let's go to Mike listening to us in Rockford. Mike, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Bill, I'm just sick to my stomach, man.
Right.
I'm sick. By the way, that's a really cool bar. I've been there before. And Chicago's, it's a beautiful downtown. It's nice and all that, but I can't stand the Bears, and I hate their fans. But anyway, half my family are Bear fans. I better be quiet. Bill, this just, I don't know if it's, and McMahon is missing that. This is another thing they got to do. They need to get a doggone field goal place kicker because they don't have anybody. Or someone to kick. This guy. They would not have. They could have just went. They would have got a field goal and at least tied the game, but maybe go to overtime.
Right.
Had it gotten to that point.
Yeah.
All these would be could be scenarios, but I don't understand, Bill, for the life of me. And I was looking at the box scores, and I was comparing Jordan Love and Caleb Williams, and I think they got a mistake here because, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the very end, didn't Jordan Love throw the pick into the end zone?
No, it was batted down. It was batted down.
Oh, it was batted down. Okay, I thought he threw the pick. I thought it was I was looking at it from a distance. My TV was my doggone dog got sick and threw up, and I had to run away. And right at the, of course, he throws it. Yeah. So anyway. But I'll tell you what, Jordan Love played a good game. You know, nobody could take anything away from that. He threw 4 TDs.
No, I completely agree with that. The problem I had with it in the second half of this ball game, he had opportunities to run for first downs. He didn't. He just looked complacent. You look in comparison to Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is not a great quarterback, especially when he's standing in the pocket and has to think about it. He's got all the tools, but he's not as accurate as Jordan Love is. But you saw Caleb Williams running, diving, screaming at guys, willing guys. You don't see that out of Jordan Love. And I think when
that's kind of what Malik Willis does.
That's right. I think when people say Jordan Love's not the guy, that's the it factor people are looking for, and you don't see it out of him nearly enough.
Yeah, and I hate to be the guy saying I know we're stuck with Love, and I like Love, but I really believe we have our better starting quarterbacks leaving this team. And I know it sounds like I'm not saying this honest to God. I just think the guy is a better quarterback. He has better skills than Love. Love is good, but I just think this Malik Willis, and this is going to be a sad offseason, Bill, and I'm not going to take your time. I know you got a lot of calls, but I just want to say it's very disappointing, and we don't know what's going to happen going forward. I do agree with you. I think LaFleur is too soft. He doesn't make the right calls, and if they don't move on from him, but you know what their excuse is going to be, Bill, if they don't move on from him? Well, look at all the injuries they had, and that's the thing. And I still, Bill, one last thing. I can't for the life of me. I've been watching football. I'm 64 years old. I've never seen a team like the Bears coming back. And what is the heck is that? I talked to you a couple days ago. Why do the Bears sleep for 3 quarters? And I've never seen a team do that. What is it about that team that they don't do any? And the dangerous thing is if they played like they did for 1 quarter for 4 quarters, they'd be scoring 60 points.
Right, I agree. Part of it is you can look at Ben Johnson and some of the stupid calls early on. I mean, I know he was kind of panicking, thinking they didn't have a way to stop the Packers until they finally did in the second half. But I think Matt LaFleur gave him the game, and I don't know what it is. When the pressure's on, it seems like they just play better. They play loose. They try to play too tight or something early on in ball games and try to be too perfect. And Caleb Williams, his accuracy is not good. And if he had any kind of an accurate arm, you know what Caleb Williams needs? He needs to quit trying to throw it through a brick wall and sometimes have a touch pass. And he doesn't do that nearly enough.
Well, Bill, I tell you, who are the Bears playing next? Then I just want them to lose.
Yeah, I haven't.
Who do they got?
I haven't even looked at it. Let me take a look, and then I'll let you know. But I appreciate it.
I'll be listening. Well, thanks. Be safe travels going back.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. There you go. That's our buddy Mike down in Rockford, whose family is all Bears fans, by the way. Let's do this. What else do we have here? Let's. We got Scott in Fort Worth. Scott, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hey, Bill, thanks for taking my call. I don't know. I'm not mad because somehow I was expecting this. What I can take a loss. I can take a loss to the Bears. What I can't take is I'm 53 years old. I can't understand how the Packers find new and inventive ways to lose in ridiculous fashion they have, say, over the last 20 years. It's just unbelievable. If you're going to lose, just lose a slugfest or something. But don't go out and piss away 21-3 leads and then play like a bunch of damn schoolgirls on offense in the third quarter. Yeah. But in special teams, we've been saying it all year. It's just one component. McManus, he needs to go. I don't want to see him on a team next year. You suck. Bisaccia, you suck. You can go too. LaFleur, I wonder where LaFleur is going to get his nails done with Love tomorrow. Those 2 little schoolgirls can have each other. I'm sick of it. I want somebody to tell me, explain to me, because I've been hearing it for a while. Explain to me why Love is better than Willis, because I don't see it. I don't see it. At least with Willis, the defense has to account for him running and taking off. And the guy can throw piss missiles down the field all day long. I haven't seen anything out of Love, Willis rather, that would make me think that the guy can't be a starting quarterback. I wouldn't just trade Love. I want to keep Willis. It's like getting rid of Aaron Jones when he's right in front of your face when he's younger and sticking with whoever the hell we had back there when he was just a rookie. I'm sick and tired of it. LaFleur is soft. Now I'm starting to get upset.
No, that's okay. Got to run. We're at the top of the hour. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more. Another hour yet to go. We'll be back right after this.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it. I got the job. I can't believe it.
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Giannis Antetokounmpo said he will never request a trade from the Bucks. He told The Athletic it's just not in his nature to do so. The Bucks, they're still out west. They'll take on the Lakers tonight. Tip-off will be at 9:30. And finally, Wisconsin is headed to Michigan on Saturday to take on the second-ranked Wolverines. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight, I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association. This is the Green and Gold postgame show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. The Green Bay Packers, 31-27, the final. They end up falling to the Chicago Bears. They were up 21-3 at half and came out flat and uninspired, offensively speaking, and a lot of discussion on both the live stream and the text messages and such about Jordan Love. And let me quantify all of this, okay, and keep it real. Jordan Love's a really good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks in this league. And there's a lot of really good quarterbacks who have not taken that next step to win. I put it in the comparison of when everybody says because I've waffled, and admittedly, because I think he's really good. I think he's got a really incredibly strong arm. I think he's accurate when he's not under pressure. And the numbers dictate that. This season was the epitome of that. When he's under pressure, his numbers are not good. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in the National Football League. Okay? Then you go and you see the game, and you see Caleb Williams running, scrambling, diving, picking up first downs, doing anything and everything he can to kind of will his team. And Love's in the pocket, and in the pocket, and in the pocket. And a first down's right there, and he doesn't run. And he throws an incomplete pass, and then throws the next one out of bounds. And there's something that either he's being coached, and I don't know. So I give Jordan Love the benefit of the doubt. But there's something that holds him back. And I look, I know he makes great passes, and it takes two to catch the football and all of that. Look, but you know it when you see it. And what I see is a really, really good quarterback that has not taken that. You're looking for that legacy step. He's won some big games. But I want to see him bring this team back and give you one of those desperate what we've seen out of Caleb Williams. And I don't think Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. What I look at is the heart or the effort or the football or whatever you want to call it. There's something there, and you can't deny it. And it's I always bring this up in the quantification of things. Going back to the Supreme Court saying, hey, please define for us whether or not this is or is not pornography. And they said, look, we can't tell you what it is, but we know it when we see it. I'm telling you, I see quarterbacks like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, like Caleb Williams. These guys, like Drew Brees had that in him. There's these guys that will do anything and everything to make sure their team wins with every last gasp in their body. And I don't see that all the time out of Jordan Love. I'm not saying never. I don't see it all the time. And I don't know if he's being coached. Don't do that. Don't get hurt. Play afraid. And if that's the case, well, then that's your culture. You're playing afraid, which is what everybody's talking about, right? That Matt LaFleur plays not to lose. Maybe that's part of the culture. I don't know. Do I think that Jordan? Absolutely, I do, because he's got all the talent in the world. But there's something innate, something in you that football players know. And I just don't know if he's got it. I don't know if he's got it. You tell me. Do you see it? Some are going to say, yeah. I mean, it's probably divided. It's probably 50-50. But if that's the case, then why, when Malik Willis ran out of the tunnel a couple of weeks ago, he got one of the biggest ovations I've ever heard at Lambeau Field, short of when Brett Favre came back after being inducted into the Hall of Fame? I don't know. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, go ahead and do so. Let's go to Jeff, listening to us in Eau Claire. Jeff, how you doing tonight, man? What's going on?
Hey, Ewan, how you doing tonight, bro?
I'm doing okay. Doing okay. A lot of mad people tonight.
Well, you know, there's not enough alcohol in the world right now to deal with what I'm going through.
Right.
I don't know what the hell happened in the second half between LaFleur and you were just talking about Jordan Love and all that. And dude looks like a deer in the headlights on 53 North at 3 a.m. in the morning sometimes. I don't understand it. He doesn't have that killer instinct. I'm an old dude. I remember seeing these guys. And LaFleur coming out flat with those stupid play calling in the second half. And it's not just this week. And I haven't talked to you in 2 years, bro. But I'm telling you, I bit my tongue all freaking year about this, but we've seen it. Week in and week out, they come out just hot. And I don't understand it. It reminds me of McCarthy against the Seattle Seahawks back in the day.
Yeah.
In the championship game. And it baffles me. It's like, I understand the injuries. I get all that. And I'm on board with our boy out in New England now, LaFleur or whatever you want to call it. He's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he can take us another step. Do you?
No, I don't. Tonight convinced me. When you have that kind of a lead and you have the heel of your boot on their throat, and this was it. This was the game in which you could prove that you could play 4 full quarters, and you come out with back-to-back offensive play calls the way he did in that third quarter. That was pathetic. That was a really pathetic.
Exactly.
That was playing scared, and like the clock was your friend, and you were just running time off the clock. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You were creative. You had a good rollout where you got a misdirection with Christian Watson going the opposite direction, and it looked great. And play call and matchup, and that all went away in that third quarter when you allowed them to climb momentum-wise back into this ball game. You let them do it, and I don't understand why.
Exactly, and how can you expect our depleted defense to do a damn thing against anybody at that point? I mean, without Wyatt, you know, I'm a big Wyatt fan. I mean, that guy is a stud, and I know Parsons is a stud as well. But without that pass rush, and I mean, they did contain Caleb pretty decent tonight. I will admit that. I mean,
did a decent job.
That dude in the pocket.
Their offense was their best defense was their offense, and their offense let them down, and the play calling let them down. And like you said, they could only do so much with what they had. And I completely agree. I got to run here. Appreciate the phone call because we actually have Matt LaFleur. I want to hear this because Matt LaFleur immediately got into the discussion of his contract and got into the discussion of actually will he be back next year. And I want you to take a listen. Take a listen. This is Matt LaFleur meeting with the media. Gets a little contentious. Take a listen.
Well, obviously this one is going to hurt for a really, really long time. You know, when you are in complete control of a football game and the script gets flipped in the second half. And it was a lot of self-inflicted things, and, you know, give credit to them. We knew they were a team that could come back and fight. I mean, they proved it all season long, and we had opportunities to kind of put them away, and we didn't get it done.
Now, what do you think happened?
A lot of bad things happened. I think a pivotal part was offensively. We come out in the second half and just could not get anything going. And, you know, you go 3 and out. I think we got a first down on the third drive, and but it was just too many opportunities when you have the ball and you're not scoring.
Was that an offensive line issue, do you think, early in the second half?
I think it was all of the above. There were certainly some things we did up front where they started bringing pressure and we weren't sliding out to it, weren't picking it up. Give them credit. And it's unfortunate because, we were doing so great in the first half, and then the second half was a different story.
You said you had some self-inflicted wounds in this game, but how much did Caleb Williams? What impact did he have, do you think, in kind of turning that game around? How much did he kind of will the Bears offense?
Yeah, he's a great player, and he's proven it time and time again, and you just can't give him that many opportunities. And that's collectively, that's offensively, that's on special teams, and then certainly on defense. You got to find a way to put him away.
Hey, Matt, you got a year left on your contract, and policy has said he doesn't like lame duck seasons. Do you expect to be back next season? Have you guys already started negotiating that deal? Or?
Yeah, with all due respect to your question, Pete, now's not the time for that. I'm just hurting for these guys. I can only think about just what just happened, and there'll be time for that.
Coach, how do you think Jordan played?
I thought he played his ass off. I really did. I thought he was out there competing. We obviously didn't do enough around him, and there were a couple situations where, whether it's a bad play call or bad protection, but I can't say enough great things about Jordan Love.
What do you attribute the problems in the kicking game to with the two missed field goals and the missed extra point?
Until I go back and look at it and talk to him, one of those kicks was a long kick at the end of the half. Obviously, the conditions are windy, but the difference was they made theirs and we did not.
You had a delayed game coming out of a timeout. How does that happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's inexcusable.
Matt, a month ago, you guys were here, and obviously the game goes sideways after 2 minute warning into overtime, and then this game, big lead in the second half. Is there any thread that you look at that there's a commonality? There was the Bears adjusting at halftime that you had maybe weren't able to adjust back. Is there anything that you can point to for those?
Well, I think that's our job to find those answers. Like I said, I think there was some uncharacteristic things, and we got bailed out at times too, where we displayed poor ball security a couple times, put the ball on the carpet, and it didn't kill us in a couple of those situations, but all in all, it was lack of execution from everybody.
Did you change how you called plays at all with such a big lead at half?
No. What they did was they brought more pressure. And so we started to go to more of our drop back protections because, they're firing corner blitzes and safety blitzes. And unfortunately, there were multiple occasions where we should have been picked up and weren't.
Mitch, you've won a lot of games here. And I know you always say the quarterback gets too much blame, and I'm sure it's the same for you as a coach too. But after the way the season finished and a couple other playoff shortcomings, why do you think you should be back here next year?
Again, Pete, I'm not gonna get into that right now.
Do you think your team has the confidence that the leadership of this organization can get more than one ago?
Yeah. Again, with all due respect, Pete, definitely now's not the time. Whatever, Bill.
When a couple times this year.
Sorry, Bill.
A couple times this year, the script has flipped. What does it take to stop that when everything's going again? Yeah.
We just keeping our composure and going out there and doing the fundamental things that we practice all the time. And I think when you get in these types of big games, when you don't execute simple fundamentals, it comes back to bite you. And that's exactly what happened.
You and Duty have both said, we're not young anymore, we're experienced in the playoffs. So why is there that lack of composure in these big moments?
That's a great question. And again, got to go back. We got to look at it. We got to talk. there's a lot of pieces. All you're trying to do in the moment is when mistakes are made, you're correcting them. There's not long discussions on the sideline. It's just you correct the mistakes and you try to keep it moving. And I felt like our team got a little bit disheveled in the second half.
I think it was a fourth down play where Caleb got out to his left and kind of made a pretty wild throw. What just happened there?
Yeah, he's a guy that's tough to contain. The whole plan was to try to especially eliminate his ability to go right. That's what he likes to do, but certainly, he made a heck of a play, heck of a throw.
Now, do you think that there's an immaturity when you're not inexperienced, but they're all still young, that they either don't know how to handle success or struggle to answer when there's a ton of adversity getting thrown at them? It has happened quite a bit.
Yeah, those are all great questions, and certainly that's my job to find the answers to those.
Coach, what does it mean to you to be the head coach?
It means everything to me. This is the greatest organization in the world, in my opinion, and it's very humbling. And I'm certainly disappointed right now. I'm disappointed mostly not mostly. I'm disappointed for everybody associated with Green Bay Packers. I'm disappointed for our locker room. I'm disappointed for our fans. I'm disappointed for our leadership, just all our employees, everybody involved in Green Bay Packers right now. Well, we were trying to get the first down, so we popped the timeout right there. Hindsight's 2020. We wanted to get a good play that we thought could pick up a chunk, and we did. But unfortunately, we had an injury that burned some time, and obviously, the timeout that really hurt us was when we make a substitution error. And we have too many defensive players on the field. Like, that stuff cannot happen.
I know it's a tough question because you're having this on the game. From the second half on, is there anything that you can do that I was going to have done this differently from your perspective? Play calls.
There's always different play calls. I think anytime a play doesn't work, you're just like, you're kicking yourself, I wish we would have called something different. And there's a reasons why they don't work at times. Whether it's, just an execution error, a work potentially. There were some times when the other team gets you, and that's just football. And I think that happens, in every game. But you got to find ways to overcome it, and we just did not do that tonight.
What was the last race trying to be motion?
I didn't even see what was going on field. Obviously, we're trying to get everybody into the end zone. We're soft on the right side or left side. We just going to spit the ball out to Rome to get 5-7 yards to get a little bit closer, because I want to say 7 seconds on the clock, and we drop the ball. Like, then it becomes the last play of the game, and it just from here on out, it's just chaos, right? It's going to take a lot of work, because we're not where we want to be. And I know we've fought through a lot of adversity this year. Unfortunately, we didn't do enough to overcome that adversity, and that's all of us collectively. We got to do more. We got to be better, because it's never excuse. I know we lost some key players, but you got to find a way to overcome that, because I think we do have a lot of talent on our team, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, there you go. That's talking to the media after the ball game. A lot of excuse making. They did try to go after him about the job. They tried to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk about it. I understand that. But tonight was the night in which LaFleur. You've got a soft team in Cleveland. You've got an unorganized team in Dallas. You've got the same situation, the same problems, special teams wise, all season long. We knew it was going to happen again. We always know it's going to happen again when it becomes somewhat consistent like that. And then you have always a team that can jump out to the lead in their great front runners. They are not. They put your heel on the boot or you put your boot on the throat of their own opponent and grind them into the ground. That's not that way with it. It's one sports. And in the reality of all this, what the reality is going to be, the reality is probably going to be Matt LaFleur is going to get a minimal contract extension and he's going to be around 2 or 3 more years. What I want is it's time to move on. It's time to move on. This game is the epitome of what's gone on for a long time now. This is that game. You've been disrespected by Ben Johnson. You saw the end of game handshake after karma bit you in the ass. You saw a team that came out flat and looked scared. You saw a team that didn't have that. They didn't match the energy level. They didn't match the effort level that was being put out by the Chicago Bears. I'm sorry, but it's time to make a change. Will that happen? I doubt it. But to me, it's time to make a change. Period. Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We got a lot more to get to. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Green and Gold postgame show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Phil Michaels will resume 5 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Packers taking on the Jets. Their season comes to an end. They fall, and after being up 21-3 at half, and they come out flat, to say the very least, in the second half of this ball game. And look bad doing it, quite honestly. And the next thing you know, this team is now looking at the offseason instead of remaining in the postseason. And they allowed the Bears to come back. And we're going to talk a lot about this all throughout, going into the weeks on end, I'm sure. But and again, I want to qualify this by what I'm saying because so people understand what it is. I think this was a game in which I can no longer defend Matt LaFleur. It's 7 years. His first year, tremendous. To get him back after the last season of Mike McCarthy, and it just didn't work. And then the new blood, the new face, the fresh take with Aaron Rodgers, they did some good things. And then obviously the COVID year, and they get to the NFC Championship game, and the decision to kick the field goal instead of just to go for it, that did not sit well with people. But after that, you get San Francisco that comes into town. We all saw the mistakes. We all saw what was coming. And they came out, they faced adversity, they collapsed, they folded, and the next thing you know, they go away. And that has been this mark of this team. They're great front runners. And they can outdistance you. But when adversity hits, there's a persona that a coach allows his team to take on, and this team far too often has collapsed in the face of adversity. And against teams they shouldn't lose to. That's part of the problem. Do I think Matt LaFleur is going to lose his job? Honestly, I think it's probably 70-30 he's back with the team. Do I think he should lose his job? Absolutely. I think it's run its course. I've seen enough of a team playing soft, of play calling that, and I get it. I get his explanation. All of a sudden they went from being, man coverage to, blitzing four, bringing four, and allowing Jordan Love to stand in the pocket to all of a sudden putting pressure on him. But don't you work on that? Don't you work with a quarterback under pressure? I get it where he was talking about, well, they should have slid coverages. I get that. But your guys didn't know to do that? This wasn't like their first rodeo. You weren't playing with a bunch of rookies in there. Rasheed Walker looked terrible. Had his hands handed to him numerous times tonight. It wasn't until late in the ballgame that Sean Ryan went down, so you can't use that as an excuse. Yeah, not having Zach Tom hurt, I get it, but you handled it in the first half. It just looked like they played scared. And scared is not a great term for a football player. I get it. Guys don't like to be called scared. But they look like they just were a deer in the headlights. And
The intentional grounding, the delay of game. Tell me where your quarterback leadership was. Again, it's great to be a front runner. To get from point A to point B is fantastic if you can do that and be the front runner. But when the pressure is on, that's when you should rise up. That's when you should make your $55 million a year. And we've seen this time and again. It's not all Jordan Love's fault. But when you put it in comparison to a guy that said, I will not be denied, give me a second chance, I'm going to come at you, even with all the mistakes they made, come on. And I'm not saying it's all Jordan Love because who knows how they're coaching him. They can say, Jordan, whatever you do, don't get outside of the pocket. My God, don't get hurt. Well, if you're playing scared and playing not to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. And you're going to hurt your team. It's just the nature of the game. That's my argument. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. I'm really late for another break. I got to get to it. We got Mike Clemens is going to be coming up here in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere because Mike's over inside the locker room, inside Soldier Field. That's the best synopsis as I sit here tonight, without going back and rewatching the game and everything, that I can give you to the eyeball test. Sitting here talking to you. If you and I were sitting in a bar having a beer, I would look at you and you would look at me and say, is there the it factor here? Does the coach have it? Does the quarterback have it? There's certain players on this team that I believe do. 877-867-1670. Stay tuned.
This is the Green and Gold postgame show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Phil Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Packers season comes to an end. The Green Bay Packers beaten by the Bears 31-27 at Soldier Field. We are down here in Chicago. We're at the Sheridan Grand Riverwalk. We're at the Chola's, which is a terrific place inside the Sheridan Grand. And an unfortunate, unhappy group of Packers fans that left here. A lot of happy Bears fans that were in this house tonight. Let's do this. Let's get back to the phone calls. Let's go to our buddy L listening to us in Philadelphia. L, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, I just finally found a Packers bar that I could go to in Philadelphia, man, and what a letdown.
Oh, huge.
I just can't. So shout out to Milk Boy Bar in downtown Philadelphia. Listen, man, I went into this game with the optimistic thought that Matt LaFleur would, be able to keep his job despite the outcome of the game. And in typical Packer fashion, they found a way to not only lose the game, but lose the game in such a drastic fashion that it's just no excuse to hold this guy and extend him. Like, it's not.
Right.
I mean, like you said earlier, Ed Policy probably want to, probably extend him probably for an extra year. Or if I was him, if it was up to me, I would keep him, but I would definitely make stipulations on him staying. And one of them would be he would have to find a brand new special teams coach.
Yep.
Because Rich Bisaccia, and I've been saying this all year, is going to be the demise of Matt LaFleur. The fact that he didn't cut ties with him a couple years ago when he had the opportunity to, when we lost because of him, and it's going to come back to bite him in his butt. I don't know what his loyalty is to this dude, why he just got to keep these incompetent players, these coaches on his staff, but it always rears ugly head. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and beat a dead horse and talk about the same stuff over and over again. Like him coming up, in the second half, lamed up coaching, playing like he's scared. I really feel like he coaches Jordan Love to play the way that he plays. And, he's a good coach, but he's not a great coach. And I don't, there's times where I blame Jordan Love, but you only can do what your coach allows you to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't see him like chewing him out on the sideline like how Mike Holmgren would chew out Brett Favre when Brett Favre would make a bonehead decision or nothing like that. There's no fire or nothing at all. All he wants to do is look at that freaking tablet and then say in the press conferences how you got to go back and look at tape.
Right.
And shout out to the reporter, Matt, whoever it was, Matt, I forgot what, Pete Doherty. I'm sorry, for calling him out about his damn contract. Right. Yeah, you want to talk about it now, but you really need to heat up under you to understand that as fans and as well as people that watch this team and dedicate their time, their hard money, their hard time, money, and everything to go to these different places and support this team. We deserve better, man. We really do.
Yep.
And he needs to be held to the fire. Like, I'm just tired of it, man. I really am. I mean, how many times are you going to let? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I just was saying. No, that's how many times as fans we're going to sit up here and just be sitting here like in the dark, with just wondering what the hell did we just watch? Right? It's nuts. I can't believe that we lost this game. Like, this is unbelievable. I was in the bar and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy because I was being pessimistic, but it wasn't me being pessimistic. It was me being real.
Right.
Like, I've seen this time and time again, and sure enough, it happens again. So where do we? I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words, but we definitely need to get fired. Have a new coach. I'm done. I can't.
Nope. I appreciate you.
One more thing, Bill. I'm sorry. Now, I mean, I'm nobody in this grand scheme of things in the world or anything like that. I'm just a fan, just like everybody else. But I will say, like I said before, if Rich Bisaccia is on our staff starting next year, I might not even support the Packers anymore, man. I'm dead serious. And I'm close with Matt LaFleur with that too. But I mean, realistically speaking, he's probably going to come back. But they got to make some type of speculations, or not speculations. I'm sorry, stipulations to keep him from not having him on the staff anymore, man.
Yeah.
There's something got to give.
Yep, I completely agree.
Sorry, you got it.
You know what? And Al, appreciate the phone call, man. When they talk about this being a results-oriented business and the results of your special teams continue to be poor, you can't keep your coach. You can't. Like I said before, my wants and reality are probably two different things now. My want is time for change. No, I haven't sat here and said, well, it's got to be Harbaugh, or it's got to be, Stefanski, or it's got to be, one of the other, out of work coaches right now. I haven't said that. I mean, who knows? There may be another coordinator. Kubiak could be the guy that you want to go after really hard. Who knows? Maybe it's a great position for a guy like that. That's an up and coming and guy, and he's still in the postseason, and he was able to turn around Sam Darnold again. So who knows? But what I think should happen and what is going to happen are two different things. The rumors started leaking out over the last couple of days that the Packers were working on a new contract extension for Matt LaFleur. They didn't finalize it. Doesn't mean Ed Policy can't change his mind, but if they're working on it, chances are Ed said, you know what, I've seen enough. I've made up my mind. No matter what happens, we can certainly change things and run it back and whatever. But I think what I saw tonight and what I saw against Cleveland and what I saw last year, a couple of years ago against Detroit, and what I saw against San Francisco in the postseason, and it's a team that when they face adversity, they fold. They fold. You see other teams that just rise up, man, and this team folded. I understand that they drove the ball down. They could have had themselves a couple of field goals, and I get all that, but it's like they just look at it and go, well, nothing we can do. And no, I can't watch it anymore, in that sense. And I can't listen to the excuses. And I can't look at my eyes and say, with my own eyes and say, I see that, only to have Matt LaFleur say, no, that's not it. I can't do that. Now, they forgot more football than I'll probably ever know. But when I see vanilla play calling, shotgun, quarterback in the pocket, delayed handoff, quick out, I don't see what I saw in the first half. And granted, they started bringing a blitz. They started bringing what I saw was, hey, just let's not lose this game. And ultimately they did. And it's can't do it. Can't do it. So the reality is, will he be back? Most likely. Do I want him back? No. I've seen enough. If they bring him back, I'll still support him because I want to see the Packers win. But there is a disconnect that he Jordan Love, he had nothing but huge amounts of praise for. And Jordan Love, like I said, for those that just went crazy, how do you say he's not a good quarterback? Jordan Love's a really good quarterback. Really good quarterback. But there is something to be said when the chips are down that you don't bring that team back and say, I will not allow us to lose. And you see quarterbacks do that. You saw Brock Purdy do it early on in his career, his first year under center. You saw Caleb Williams do it all season this year. You've seen Josh Allen do it. Patrick Mahomes do it. He's being paid to be those guys. So either you have the it factor or you don't. If he's being coached not to do that to a certain extent because they don't want you outside of the pocket, they don't want you, taking a hit. They don't want, well, then he's coached to be not it. I don't know. But I will say, and I completely agree with Elle, there is no way you can bring Rich Bisaccia back. There's no way. There is no way. And if you are going to talk about culture and winning and a certain level of we will not be denied. Now, I will say this, that burns that burns very quickly because if you don't have success, it can burn guys out. But I think something different is probably warranted at this point, to be perfectly honest with you. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. We should be joined in any moment now by Mike Clemens. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye out for Mike.
Actually, Mike is here right now.
Okay, here we go. We just got Mike in. Mike, what's going on down there in Soldier Field?
As tradition on our post-game show, I have interviews and we play back interviews with the players. I stayed to the very last second. I just got off the elevator from the basement here at Soldier Field and the visitors' locker room up to the press box, knowing that I probably was going to have a chance to send some of these interviews back to our network station in Madison. So I'm going to translate for you what I just went through. I skipped the press conferences because, you guys sometimes can carry those on the show live and all that. I walked into the locker room and sitting was Jordan Love, Romeo Doubs, Luke Musgrave on their benches, like the wind was knocked out of them, like they didn't know what to say to each other. They were empty, some guys were crying. It's not a veteran team, you know. It's not like these guys are 34 years old and they may have played their last football game. But they do know that, you know, this was supposed to be the year. There's so many of these guys have been together now 3 years. There was so much promise in this season. And yet, I kept on asking these guys like Christian Watson, like Josh Jacobs, like Evan Williams, the safety. You know, there was a lot of promise on this season. Did losing these last 4 or 5 games, how much did that have an effect? And I think Javon Bullard put it best, because I said, you guys have watched all these Bears games. You watched how they won 6 games in the last 2 minutes. What is it about the Bears that when they get to the final minutes, do they just start playing loose? Does he just start, you know, he doesn't care, and they spread out and they play loose like, you know, fast break basketball, and they're able to make these chunk plays and decide games and score and all that. And Javon Bullard looked at me, and I'm going to have to bleep this all out for Monday's show, but he says, no. He said, the Bears, it's not the Bears. It's us. We did not finish. And he went on a rant about we didn't finish. And I said, well, yeah, it's been 4 or 5 weeks since you handed out game balls. Yeah, we haven't been finishing. We have to learn to finish. There's a lot of good things about the team. We couldn't figure out a way to finish. They couldn't figure out a way to finish the season, Bill.
Right. I agree. Mike, that second half, specifically that third quarter, that offense let that entire team down. It's like they'd never seen a blitz before. They'd never seen edge rush before. 3 and out, 5 plays and out. You know, it took the wind out of the sails of this team. And I've seen this team before face adversity and not come back from it. They're great front runners, but they do not face adversity well. And I don't know if that's culture. I don't know if that's the top. I don't know if it's Matt LaFleur. I don't know if it's the guys in the locker room being young. I don't know. But we've just seen this. It's wash, rinse, repeat in this area.
Well, Bill, you and I texted each other then during that second series, second possession when the Packers had the ball, and they're up 21-3, and they've dominated the game, and things are rolling along. Now they're in their own territory, which I thought was a little dangerous, but whatever. You know, for weeks now, since Tucker Kraft was out, they've been saying number 70 is eligible. They bring in the tackle to fill in that as a blocker, as a tight end. Well, this time Jordan Love throws in the ball off to the left-hand side. So the big guys running down the sidelines, you can see some of the NFL Network reporters, they love that play, because they want to play that back on their shows. Except Darian Kennard running with the football after making a nice little catch, running down the Bears sideline. One of the Bears defenders makes a Peanut Tillman classic, punch the ball out from behind. The ball goes loose and ends up rolling out, out of bounds. So the Packers were able to maintain it. I'm telling you, that was the momentum shift. It got the Bears bench going again, because this place was quiet at the start of the third quarter, and it got the 65,000 fans going. That was it right there. You got too cute. You rubbed it in the face of your opponent, and to me, that's typical Bears Packers. That's the fridge going for a touchdown, right? Yeah. That's Ben Johnson doing his trick plays and hook and ladder plays or Statue of Liberties or whatever. He's famous for that. Well, tonight LaFleur thought, let's have a little fun with these guys, but it backfired on you a little bit. But that's when this goddamn game changed. It's right there, man. Right. I'm telling you, right there, because then the Bears, they got a field goal, they started scoring, and they put up 21 points in the second half. And at the very same time, your secondary started losing that plaster coverage that they'd held for most of the game, and your quarterback starts missing. Jaden Reed has a drop. You just overthrow Christian Watson by a foot or so, and would have been the go-ahead or winning touchdown. And then your center goes down. Jacob Monk, had actually started, was playing early in this game. He's the backup center, but he got pulled with an injury. And then when Sean Ryan went down, and second to last drive, now you got Lacita Smith, a third stringer guy who's been on their practice squad, snapping in a must-win drive, and they had the one bad snap between him and Jordan Love. So, listen, we asked all these players, Bill, do you think your coach is in trouble? And the reaction was like they had not even considered that. like maybe they hadn't even heard of it, or just like, they were still in such a daze that this actually happened to them, that they couldn't even comprehend the question at the time.
Is it they couldn't comprehend the question, or because to Mike, there's a difference of I can't comprehend the question, or emphatically, oh my God, no, we love this guy, he's great, he's got to stay. You know what I mean?
No, you know what I think it was, especially with these third and fourth year players. I think that they've been listening to LaFleur. Sure, they know that there's 7-8 coaches that got fired in the last 36 hours, whatever. But I also think, though, it's like I don't think they'd actually considered that. Because they know if you've been in the league long enough, there's always going to be some change. You're going to lose some players. You're going to lose a coach or two. A guy's going to get a job. You might lose your position coach and all that. I don't think that reality has quite sunk in. You'll hear it. You'll hear it in the interviews we play on Monday's show. But I don't think that there was no sense that I got that this has been cooking for the last month in the locker room.
Let me ask you this. The offense in that third quarter and the way they played in the second half, Mike, we talked about two teams. One team played with ferocity, like they would not be denied. The other team played almost as if they were playing either not to lose or playing lifeless. Did you see that there?
Well, to me, again, go back to what Bullard said and to what, a little bit what Josh Jacobs was saying. Whoever these guys are playing, whether it's, the Ravens, whether it's, the Browns, for some reason, these guys were not a fourth quarter team or, a finishing team.
Right.
They, put up, they weren't much of a comeback team this year. And Josh was even, checking off the boxes like, maybe we're not playing with enough stamina. Maybe we're not playing with enough energy at the fourth quarter, and therefore you lose your focus. You're going to hear comments like that.
Right.
But, I guess it doesn't get any deeper than they realize they beat themselves, and they don't understand how they could be so crisp. And the Bears placed, on the back of their heels for the first 2.5 quarters of this game, and then for it just flipped like that. But the Bears have somehow pulled this off all year long. And it starts with that quarterback who just seems to play loose. I talked to Isaiah McDuffie. He had him. I was watching the binoculars, and the linebacker, McDuffie, it's got him around, come from behind. He's got him wrapped up, and I thought it was a sack until I heard the crowd cheering, and I didn't realize that the ball came out of his hands. I mean, Caleb was on his way down. He was a foot away from the ground, crashing into the ground. The ball still comes out of his hand, and he hits a tight end down there in the red zone.
Yeah, to me, it's still kind of somewhat shocking. I mean, the penalties, the calling a timeout, taking the delay of game penalty coming out of a timeout, and Matt talking about, well, we didn't shift well and blocking in the second half, and it's like, you expect all of this. These are all things that we've seen throughout the season, and just it's become somewhat problematic. And I guess, like I said earlier, a little wash, rinse, repeat. So real quick, I know we only got about a minute here, but now what? Obviously everybody gets back and they start cleaning out lockers and such. But in a 30-minute synopsis, now what?
Yeah, and let's not forget, maybe the game flipped when Edgerrin Cooper had to leave. He had 7 combined tackles.
Yeah.
He, defended the best. He went out with an ankle injury. Things might have changed then. Rashawn Gary, very emotional in his locker, and we'll have that interview on Monday's show. But yeah, these guys clean out their lockers 9:00 tomorrow morning.
Man, it came crashing down. Mike, great stuff all season long. We'll talk again Monday, okay?
Thank you, Bill.
Appreciate it, pal. One more time, thanks to the staff and management down here inside the Sheridan Grand River Walk in Schulis. It's been absolutely positively fantastic. They're great people to work with, and we'll be back. Look forward to our 17th season back down here next year. But one more time before a crowd of 60,338 on hand to see it. It was the Bears 31 and the Packers season ending with 27. Great season. Thank